as it is in children younger than 2 years, the head may enlarge. Communicating hydrocephalus, obstruction of the CSF flow in the subarachnoid space from prior bleeding or due to the meningitis, and these when there is prior bleeding or meningitis, there is thickening of the arachnoid leading to the blockage of return flow channels. In some patients, what happens, the spaces filled by the CSF are uniformly enlarged without an increase in the intracranial pressure, and this spatial form of communicating hydrocephalus is called normal pressure hydrocephalus, and it results from impaired CSF reabsorption at the arachnoid granulations. Most cases of non-communicating hydrocephalus is due to the developmental malformation, and other causes may be neoplasm, as we discussed earlier. It may be neoplasm, infections or trauma, and developmental defect. They account for most causes of hydrocephalus from birth to 2 years of age. Clinical manifestation. It depends upon the acuity of onset and the presence of pre-existing structural lesion. So clinical manifestation in hydrocephalus is different in infant and in children's. When hydrocephalus occurs, when there is impairment of the CSF flow or obstruction which leads to the hydrocephalus, and if it occurs before closure of the cranial suture, there is marked enlargement of the head, and this enlargement is manifested by the increase in the circumference of the head, and first signs that we see is bulging of the fontanelles without enlargement of the head, tense bulging non-pulsatile anterior fontanelle, dilated veins of the scalp, especially when the child cries, and thin skull bones with separated sutures, cracked pot sounds on percussion. And this is the picture of the infant with the hydrocephalus. We can see that the head is markedly enlarged, and protruding forehead or bossing can be seen, and depressed eye or setting sun eyes. You can be asked in MCQ, what is setting sun eyes and in which disease setting sun eye is seen. Setting sun eyes is seen in hydrocephalus, and it is named because the eyes rotate or downward with sclera visible above pupil. That's why it is termed as setting sun eyes. And when we do the test the pupil of these patients, pupils is sluggish with unequal response to the light, and patient is irritable, lethargic, and they feed poorly, and there is lower extremity spasticity, and when this child may cry when picked up or rocked, and they may also present with swallowing difficulties, stridor, apnea, respiratory difficulties, and if this hydrocephalus progresses, difficulty in sucking and feeding and a high-pitched cry can be seen. And there is vomiting, seizure, cardiopulmonary distress as the hydrocephalus progresses, and severely affected infant may not survive the neonatal period. So in this we can see markedly, this is the normal picture of the normal vein, and in this we can see there is dilatation of the ventricular system, and the head of the child is markedly enlarged, and here we can see the bulging of the fontanelles. This is the bulging of the fontanelles, and even scalp veins are visible, and setting sunset eye can also be noted. When the hydrocephalus develops after this period, that is after the closure of the suture, and it is associated with the expansion of the ventricle and increased intracranial pressure, but there is no change in the circumference of the head. If only a portion of the ventricular system is enlarged because of the excess CSF, as may occur because of the mass in the third ventricle, that is because of the any tumor in the third ventricle, the pattern is called non-communicating hydrocephalus, and in communicating hydrocephalus there is enlargement of the entire ventricular system. So one of the difference between communicating and non-communicating is that in non-communicating, as usually this is due to the obstruction, there is a ventricular system is only focally enlarged, or only a portion of the ventricular system is enlarged due to the obstruction, whereas in communicating hydrocephalus entire ventricular system is enlarged. And there is a term, special term, hydrocephalus S vacuo, which refers to dilation of the ventricular system with a compensatory increase in CSF volume secondary to a loss of brain parenchyma. So this is not that important for you guys. Important is definition of the hydrocephalus, types of the hydrocephalus, and clinical feature of the hydrocephalus. In childhood also there is signs and symptoms which is caused by increased intracranial pressure, and manifestations caused by neoplasm and aqueduct stenosis, and manifestations which are associated with the space occupying lesions. Headache on awakening with improvement following emesis or sitting up, papilledema, swelling of the optic disc, strabismus, and extrapyramidal tract signs such as ataxia, irritability, lethargy, apathy, confusion, and often incoherent. So signs and symptoms are almost same in hydrocephalus, occurring before the closure of the suture and after the closure of the suture, but head in circumference of head is not increased in hydrocephalus when it occurs after the closure of the sutures. So how can we diagnose the case of the hydrocephalus? Antenatal fetal ultrasound can be done, which can be done as early as 14 weeks, and in infant based on the head circumference. If the head circumference crosses more one or more grid lines on the infant growth chart within a 4-week period, and there is progressive neurological symptoms, then we can suspect that this is a case of hydrocephalus. CT and MRI can be done to localize the site of the obstruction and to see whether the ventricles are enlarged or not. So this completes your class of hydrocephalus. Any doubt regarding hydrocephalus? Any doubt? Class? Any doubt regarding hydrocephalus? Any questions? No? If you have any problem, you can let me know.